Hey everyone, welcome back to Ingenious TechHub channel. So in this session, I'm going to discuss Tech Mahindra interview question for part 2. We had already discussed part 1. If you have missed the session, just you can go for the previous video. So I have already discussed regarding the part 1. Okay. So let me share the interview question for part 2. Okay. So tell me about yourself. Like this is the same copy paste for the previous one. Okay, let me also discuss here. So what you have to highlight in your tell me about yourself. You have to highlight you have to tell your name, your current organization, your relevant experience. You can divide your experience. Again, it depends upon the profile. If the companies are looking for you having the more experience in automation or you having the equals experience with manual and automation, so when you are getting the interview call, you have to ask to HR what is the requirement. If the HR will tell we having the requirement for only automation, then you can you have to highlight more experience in automation or equals experience manual with automation. So you can divide this experience according to the requirement. Your skill set is very important. You have to highlight your skill set. Like so in the automation, like you are good in the core Java and you are very good in the selenium, then you have to highlight the specific topic. Hey, I am good in the collection, I am good in the OOP concept, I have a very good knowledge in the string handling, so you can highlight like that. Your current project you have to tell, so you have to tell the current project, like which domain you have worked, what is the modules you have worked. So here you have to not explain into in what the project you have to only tell your domain. You have to tell in which module you have worked. Then you have to tell your roles and responsibility, your contribution. You can highlight your technical work, what you have worked in the with respect to the automation and manual testing. Okay, so your tell me about yourself is crisp and clear. You should not go to the interviewer. You are explaining that too much the project and all. No. Okay, so you have to highlight these points are very important in tell me about yourself. So let's move in the another question. Okay, so another question is explain about TestNG and where do you have used it in your project, guys. So if you are developing the Selenium framework, so again it depend upon, so mostly Selenium framework having TestNG, right? So when you will implement any Selenium framework, mostly we use the TestNG. So if you will not use the TestNG, then actually we are not able to implement our framework, right? I'm not going to tell you with respect to, just because we having the if you are using the Cucumber as well, right? So you can use any unit also, right? But Selenium, Java, if you are using, then TestNG is the mandatory for developing your framework. Why it is mandatory? With respect to the main method, we cannot achieve many things, right? You cannot execute multiple test cases in one class, right? You having the multiple classes, that is not, uh, you know, we cannot maintain that, right? So if you already know the test ng, that is fine. You can skip this video, but this point you have to highlight. It is an unit testing framework tool which is implemented as a plugin for Eclipse. The TestNG is open source plugin available in TestNG community. Okay, so TestNG be having the open source means you should not pay any rupees to organization, right? So features of TestNG. So we having the multiple annotation inside this TestNG. So here I'm not going to discuss all this annotation what it will do. I'll show you, where you can explore the TestNG. It support multiple annotation at the various level, supported for data driven. So we have a data provider annotation as well if we want to handle multiple set of the data. Support parameter, you can do the parameterization. So sometime I have worked with the multiple project. One of the project, they are reading the data from the XML file, but the problem is that, like, you have to pass the parameter here. If you have a 10 parameter, we can manage, but if you have a more than that, then we cannot manage. If you have a huge number of the data, then we should not go for the parameterization concept, right? Either you can use properties file, or you can use your what I can say, Excel sheet, Excel reader, right? But if you have a less data, then definitely we can use the parameterization concept. Automatic reports, so TestNG provide the default reporting as well, but we in right now in the market we having the many report. So I have used the extend report, and if you want to use the extend report, you have to do configuration by using the XML file. We can run failed test cases, like you have executed the regression suite, right? So you having the 100 test cases and 20 test cases failed, right? And you fix it, then again you will run the 100 test cases, then it will take more time, right? So what I can do, I can run only failed test cases, so that features is also available in the TestNG. So we can run the failed test cases only using the testng.xml. No need to run the full test suite in case of failure. Supported by the variety of tools and plugins. Okay, so we can configure with variety of the tools, so we can integrate with Eclipse, we can integrate with Maven. So if you want to do the integration with you know a CI/CD, right? So here also we have a vital role of the XML file, right? So in test runner class, right? So in the test runner class, you could see be having the multiple. You have to launch the application, right? So before class or before method, right? This all the, and we are doing from the execution will start from the test runner class. So these are the annotation we start. Sorry, these are the annotation we use over there while doing the execution, right? So when you are doing the multiple when you are executing the multiple test cases, we can go through that XML file. If you want to perform the cross browser testing, we can use the XML file, right? If you want to do the parallel execution, we can use the XML configuration you have to use. If you want to exclude the group of the test cases, right, we have a include and exclude concept. If you want to execute multiple test cases at a time, so we having the features called invocation count we can use. So we having the many features guide. So in my regular playlist, we will get over there the with practical how we work with the test ng. So we have already discussed generate the report in a proper format, perform the cross project testing. But this is the theory. You have to know the practical knowledge. You can tell to the interviewer this point, but you should know how to work with the test engine, right? If you don't know how to do the practical, then you will stuck in the work. Okay, so please do the practical practice. How to do, you will get lot of the tutorial on the YouTube. In my channel also, tutorial is available in the playlist, so you can go through that, how we are doing the multiple, with practical, so you can learn and you can explore. Okay, and this is very easy framework. Okay. Have you worked in API testing, and which API testing tools you have used? Yes, I have worked. So guys, if you did not work also, then you have to start to learn, and at least you have a knowledge of 1 year of experience in API testing, because mostly company they are looking for you have a knowledge of API testing. Okay. So you have to explore, right? So you have to explore this. So yes, I have worked in API testing, and I have used Postman and REST assured. So two tools you have to learn, basically Postman for manual validation and for automation purpose REST assured. If you are new in that, if you want to learn from the scratch, we have a playlist for API testing. I have uploaded 40 videos till now, still I am working on that. So we'll get all the link in the description. If you want to start to learn your API testing, then you can say, hey, I have worked on that. Okay. Another question, what are the functional regression and integration testing? Right. So again, one more thing I want to share with you, many of them like manual tester are there, or many of them from non-tech guy, or even I'm going to tell you the fresher. So first of all, you having the very good knowledge of testing concept, types of the testing, how the testing process is working, right? So that is the first priority. You have to learn the things, right? So let me here share what is the functional testing. Is a type of software testing that validate the software system against the functional requirement. Okay, so what is the functional? functional requirement and a specification. So basically what happen if you have a application, right? Then how to start your testing? So basically we having the some document over there related to, so every description, every functionality they have described inside this document. So that is the best way to go for the each functionality, and we can test it, right? So here we should not leave any functionality, right? The purpose of functional test cases is to test each function of the software application by providing the appropriate input and verifying the output against the functional requirement, right? So we can go for the specification document, and each scenario we have to test in your application. Another is what is regression testing. If you are a manual tester, you already know what is the regression testing. Many of them, they have started in the career in uh, testing. So let me first of all, why we do the regression testing. So you should know about of agile process. What is the agile process? How we work in the agile, right? So if you don't know, I have a playlist for that, separate playlist. I have explained you each and everything how in the real time we are working in the agile. Basically, we having the 2 week of the sprint and we have a release, right? So before release, we have to do regression testing. What is the regression testing? So we having the multiple scenario, like we have a, some enhancement of the application, right? This is my application is running in the prod. Okay, this is the one application, this application is running in the prod, right? So let me draw some diagram. So this is your application is running in the prod. Okay, this application is running, right? So we have a requirement for this, new requirement. They having the here like 20 functionality, and client want to add more 5 functionality here more, right? So this 5 functionality have developer has added here. So before deploying this application in prod, then we have to test here. So what happened? The 20 functionality we have already there, and 5 functionality we have added. So what happened? The old code base. So old code base means your source code. Whatever the old source code is there, developer had done some changes existing, right? They have added some few more code or functionality. Then we have to test your old code base, and whatever the changes we have done by the developer, it should not impact, right? Your new functionality will also work and your old functionality will also work, right? Might be some developer have added the new functionality and old functionality is also impacting because of new functionality, right? So this is, you have to test old code base with new code base, right? So it should work each and everything. Means simply I can say, when the developer is adding any new things or any old code they are adding, or any, if they are fixing the bug also, right? Then you have to do regression testing. So it should not impact with our existing functionality, and new functionality will also work. This is called your regression testing. Regression testing is defined as a type of software testing to confirm that a recent program or code change has not adversely affected the existing features. I have also written the same thing. Okay, sorry. This testing is done to ensure that new code based changes do not have a side effect on existing functionality, to ensure that the code base still works once the latest code changes are done, right? So this is called your regression testing. What is integration testing? So I can say in my team we having the many developer, 4 and 5 developers are there. Every developer is working on the different module, right? Someone is working on model 1 and somebody is working on model 2. Until unless what will do, they will integrate all the modules and we can test it the end to end the flow is working fine or not, right? Some of the applications are there, like they having the different types of the application, and we are doing the integration over there, right? So integration testing is defined as a type of testing where software modules are integrated logically and tested as a group. A typical software uh, project consists of multiple software modules coded by the different programmer. The purpose of this level of testing is to expose the defect in the interaction between the software module when they are integrated. Right. So whatever I have discussed you, the same thing I have mentioned you. Okay. So next question is, have you used collection in your project and explain what the different between, okay, what are the difference between hash map and hash table? I'll go a bit fast guys because the uh, timing of the video will increase. So if you want to explore collection, we have a separate playlist for the collection you can learn. Okay. So collection can be seen as a container that contain a group of item of object. In Selenium, we can generally use a set map list interaction for sorting the web elements such as window handle, object and keys. When we use handle to the collection multiple window, actually the sentence is bit we have to correct it, but just let me tell you, if you are working in the Selenium, be having the multiple method to return the collection only, right? Or might be you are developing some of the functionality, or you are reading the data as a key value pair. Then in which scenario you have to use map. You have some requirement only you have to store only duplicates or sorry unique data. Then we can use set. If you know the multiple window handles, if you have to click the multiple link, right? Then again what happen, you have to use driver dot find element. It will return the list of the web element in the multiple window, right? It will return the window handles. It will return the set of a string, right? Drop down, if you're handling get options method, right? It will return the list of the web element. So we having the many method, and for development perspective, it depend upon the requirement where we can use the collection if you know the concept. Next question is, what is hash map and hash set? So hash set is the underlying data structure is hash table. Duplicate, see, set is only having the duplicates are not allowed in the set. Okay. So the underlying data structure is hash table. Duplicates object are not allowed. Insertion order is not present. It is based on the hash code. Okay, null insertion is possible only once. Heterogeneous object are allowed. Implement serializable, clonable, but not a random access. These are the marker interface. If you want to explore this all the things, please refer my collection video. From there, I have explained clearly. Okay, now let me just. Hash set is best choice if our frequent operation is search operation. Okay, in the searching operation we use. So this is about of your hash set. See, hash map is the map will store the data in a key value pair. Okay, but here the underlying data structure is hash table only. In the hash set, we are not storing the value as a key value, but in the hash map we are storing in the value as a key value. Insertion order is not preserved. It is based on the hash code of keys. Duplicate keys are not allowed, but value can be duplicated. Here you can store the duplicate. Sorry, you cannot store the duplicate key, but value we can store. Heterogeneous object are allowed for both key value pair, and null is allowed for key only. Okay. Hash map implement serializable clonable interface, but not a random access. Sorry guys. So hash map is the best choice if our frequent operation is. The only difference is in hash map we are storing as a key value pair, but in the hash set we are storing only if you have a requirement to for the duplicates or object are not allowed, then we should go for hash set. Which tools you have used for the bug tracking purpose in your project? So mainly I have used Jira tools in mostly project, and few of the project I have used Rally. I have used what you are using, but if you don't know the Jira, explore your Jira tools is very important for bug tracking. So in the last, if you are attending the interview or if you already attended the interview, they are asking one question, do you have any question? So my habit is I always ask, can you share my feedback? Some of the interviewer, also become angry for this, but you know why I cannot ask the feedback, right? Your interview is well, but you are not selected. Or if you have some big point, then interviewer will tell you, then you have to work, right? So sometimes we are not realize why we have rejected. That is the one thing politely you have to ask. Hey, can you tell me my feedback? This is your first question. Or you can ask in the last. Okay, so you can ask, hey, if I got selected, what will be my roles and responsibility in future project, and what type of the framework you guys are using, what the technology you are using, what type of the domain are you working. If already share, you should not ask same question, but they did not share, you can ask them, so they feel no, he is also interested to work in our organization. In the last also you can tell, if you don't mind, please tell me my feedback so I can work if any weak point is there in my interview. Okay, so this is the best way to convince the interviewer. Okay, so I think this is the last question, guys, and thank you so much for watching this video. And I'm doing hard to finding the proper question, so I am sharing with you guys. And one a small request: if you feel like this video is profitable for you, please subscribe my channel, press bell icon to get new video notification in weekend. And when I'm getting the time, I try hard to share best content to you guys. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye bye.